Hello friends, so today we're gonna discuss the problem D and problem E from the latest Ad Coder Beginner Contest 178. So let's start. The problem D is redistribution. It states that you are given an integer s, find how many sequences there are whose terms are all integers greater than or equal to 3 and whose sum is equal to s. And as you can see, s is pretty small. It can also be doing like this problem can also be done in O of n square, and you have to find out all the sequences. Now the number of sequences can be very large, so you have to output the number of sequences modulo 10 to the 9 plus 7. So that's the question. Now let's see some test cases. As you can see, for 7 you have to find out different numbers, a sequence of numbers such that the sum of all the numbers is equal to s, and how many sequences are there. As you can see, all the numbers in the sequence are greater than 3. Now in this, as you can see, one sequence can be 3 4 4 3 and 7, and for 2 there cannot be any sequence because the number should be greater than 3 and the summation is equal to 2, so how can a number be greater than equal to 3? And for this, that's a number. So now this is a pure question of DP, you can easily understand this. So now how to like apply DP in this question? Now as you can see, let's assume I have 7 and I have to find out how many sequences are there with 7. So now what you can do here is, or let's assume that I have a number which is equal to, let's assume 5. If some number is less than or equal to 2, like it is 1 or 2, so the answer is 0 because the summation cannot be 1 or 2. If the summation is 3, 4 or 5, then the answer is 1. Why? Because if the number is 6, then it can be divided into this form, 3 into 3, like 3 3, a set of 3 3. But now if a number is between like 3 4 and 5, then this is the sole number which cannot be divided further, because if you want to divide this number even more further, then you will reduce down to a number which is like less than 3, because if you like divide 3 into something smaller, then both of the numbers will be in the range between 1 and 2 only, and thus you cannot make that change, and thus the answer for all of these is 1. Now for the number greater than 5, it can be 6 or 7 or anything, then you can divide them. So now what you can do, because the sequences can be greater than 3, what you can do, you can do a take a loop such that I will keep on subtracting some numbers from this number such that I am positive and the number which is smaller is greater than or equal to 3. I'll tell you how. So let's assume that I have some number 3. Now I have some number 7, let's assume, and I will minus 3 from it. What means that I have taken a sequence and the starting number of that is 3. Okay, and then because I have to make out my sum equal to 7, I have taken down 3, so now my remaining number is 4. And now as you can see, for 4 the answer is 1, which means that okay, I can write down 4 here and this will form a valid sequence. Now I will subtract down the next number which is equal to 4 from this. The next number is equal to 3, which can also form a valid sequence which is under this constraint, so answer is like 4 and 3 also. Now I will subtract down 5 from this. Now if I subtract down 5 from this, it will remain down to 2, which is equal to 0, which means that I cannot form a sequence which is like this, 5 and 2, and thus this is wrong. And then I can also take down one number as 7, and then it will come down to 0. And when you come down to 0, it can also form a valid sequence, as only 7 can also occur, and thus you have to take down two base conditions such that if s is equal to 1 or 2, its answer is 0. If s is equal to 3 or 5, answer is 1. Or also if s is equal to 0, then the answer is equal to 1, because that's also a base condition. Now for some bigger number, let's assume 10, you will keep on doing this. First is the number 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just like a 6 and like 6, and then it will form. So you're forming some sequence in which the first digit is 3, then the next digit will be such that the sum of the next digits will be 7. You will take down 3, and then your next subtask is to write down some sequence such that the sum of that sequence is 7. Because I have taken down 3, the total summation should be 10, and thus I have to find out the number sequence which will end at 7. Okay, so now because as you can see, the total number sequence end at this is, you can further divide it. You can divide it by 4, 3, 2, and so on, and you will do the same. But because there are some like sub problems which are repeating, so you can use DP or memorization to like redo the subtask again, and you don't have to do it again also. So that's the whole trick for this question. I'll return to the code part now to even make it more clear. So this is the DP. Like first memset a DP table of size 2000 because like S is up to 2000. Okay, so I'm making now a DP of 2005, just 5 is a buffer value, and then memset it with -1. Initialize DP of 0 with 1, as I've told you. You can also initialize, so that's the base conditions in which DP of 0 is also 1, and DP of 1 and 2 is 0, and 3, 4, 5 is 1. So okay, now you will send down your S. Okay is just the DP function, and which you will send down S, and it will return an answer. And then in the S, if S is equal to 0, then the answer is 1. If S is equal to 1 or 2, then the answer is 0. If S is greater than equal to 3 and less than equal to 5, the answer is 1. Else, if the DP value is calculated, it's not equal to -1, it means that there is some DP value calculated earlier and we can use it again. So return just DP value of that S. Else what we'll do, we'll find out a total value. What is the total value? I will form the subsequences. I will fill the first number as you can see. If I don't know the value for 7, I will fill the first number with 3 and will find out what is the subsequences which will end, or number of subsequence which has the total sum equal to 4. If the starting value of a sequence is 4, that's the number of subsequence which have a total sum equal to 3. So I will add all these values, and that's what I'm doing. Add over all the values from 3 till S, and I will only do this if S of I is greater than 0. Because if it's less than 0, if I become greater than 0, then what's the matter? Because I don't have to do such conditions, because that condition is just leading to a negative number and we don't want that. And thus, if that leads to some condition like add, so I've written out this function because this function is just using some mod values to round that number using that mod function. And thus add total and that OK function of S minus I, because now I've taken S in our sequence. Thus the next number I have to find out is total number of sequences in which S of I is the total value. And then after calculating this total, I will store down this total in DP of S and then return down this total value. So that's the whole logic for the D question. Let's move on to the fourth question, or the fifth question, sorry. Distance max is just a question of pure mathematics, like nothing else. So I will tell you how you can find out this value. The question statement states that you are given n points in the 2D plane, and then the ith point is located at xi, y intercept. Okay, then there are multiple points that can share the same coordinate, which means that there can be same coordinates also, and they can be different coordinates. So you are given some n coordinates, and then what is the maximum Manhattan distance between any two distinct points? So you can take to any 2 points in the given points and find out the maximum possible Manhattan distance. So that's the Manhattan distance, and you have to find out the maximum possible value. Okay, let's write down this Manhattan distance, and you will you will easily understand the logic when you write this term. So you have to find out the max over all the values of x1, I'm writing xi, it's xi, xi, xj if there are 2 points, plus yi, yj. So you have to find out the maximum possible value over all these, over all these I and j. Okay, so now let's forget about the coordinates. Just take this mathematical expression first. If whenever you should see mod functions, the mod function can give you 2 possible answers. I hope you know. If you have some a value and some mod value, then it means that it is leading down to 2 values. It can be either -a or +a. Okay, because let's assume you have some x minus y mod, then its answer can be either x minus y or y minus x, because whatever is positive you will take down that value, and that's the answer. So if that's the xi minus xj, then it can be either xi minus xj or xj minus xi, and same for this. So there are actually 4 possible combinations. Now try to write down on combination. So let's assume that I have first combination is just remove down this mod function, and sorry, not mod function, absolute value function, and just write down in this without using this. So it's xi minus xj plus yi minus yj. it can be this, or it could be like xj minus xi, and then yi minus yj, and it can be also xj minus x, and then yj minus yi, and also xi minus xj plus yj minus yi. These are the possible 4 values which can come, and you have to just find out the maximum among all of them. So that's the whole trick. So how you can find out the maximum among all of them? You can pair them up. So like you have to find out the maximum of this expression. Okay, so now what does this mean? Like if you take 2 points, now you have to find out the maximum among this value, just taking 2 points. Now because you are given the input in this form, you are given 2 coordinates, x1 y1 x2 y2, and this is in this form. So let's pair x1 and y1. So it's like xi plus yi, and then whole minus of xj plus yj. It can be like this, or like you can take down like this also, which is like x of j. Okay, so x of j plus y of j minus x of I plus y of I. So you're just reversing it, like you have just put a whole negative in this function, this value. This is just this value, as you can see. Okay, this is also this value in which it's like xi, or like you can take this value, it's simple, xi minus yi, and then take a whole negative of xj minus yj, and this is the whole, and if you take a whole negative of this, it will form like this expression. So what you can easily say here is, if you want to maximize this value, let's assume if you want to maximize this value, how you can maximize this value? If you just find out the summation of all the xi and yi over all the coordinates, like you are given some n coordinates, just find out the x1 y1, the summation of x1 y1, x2 y2, x3 y3, and so on. Then if you want to maximize this function, if you subtract the largest value of x1 y1 from the smallest value from x1 y1, then you can get the maximum possible value of this expression. If you want to get the maximum expression of this value, it's just a negative of this. So what you can do, you can find out all the possible values for minus x1 minus x2, minus x, like minus x1 minus y1, minus x2 minus y2, minus x3 minus y3, and so on. And then if you subtract the maximum possible value from the smallest possible value of that function, then that's the possible answer for this expression. So you want to maximize all those possible answers over all this expression, and we are just doing that. I hope you understand. You just write down the paper and you will understand it more clearly. So it's just pure mathematics. You are doing nothing else. So that's the whole logic. I'll tell you down to the code part to make it even more clear. So that's the whole code part. It's also very small. Just take the input of all the n, and then also make a vector of rows 4 and like the columns equal to n. Then take the input of x and y, and then there are 4 possible cases: x plus y, x minus y, like both are negative. Like in this is negative, this is negative, and this is both negative. This is both negative. And then what you will do, you will sort them out, all of these expressions. After sorting them, all of these expressions, you will find out the maximum possible values, because after sorting them, we just have to find out the difference from the largest value from the smallest value for all of these expressions. For all of these expressions, all of these coordinates, I have just find out all of these coordinates in this 4 rows, then sort them out, and then the answer is just, because I have to find out this expression is just the maximum value minus the smallest value, which is just after you can sort it out. You can also find out the maximum and smallest value from this, but you can also sort them out. So after sorting them out, it is just the maximum value which is in the end minus the smallest value, and you have to find out the maximum among all those 4 cases, and that's the answer. I hope you understand the logic as well as the code for the 5th question also. If you still have any notes, please mention down. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Keep coding. Bye.